Yep.
We are recording a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome to Refrigerator Diaries, where we want to hear your stories. If you've got anything, music, tunes, video games, if it's related to food, let us know what's in your RD. So we've got some special guests on with us today. The good brother, Chris, is with us from Events to Remember and also Yum Village. And then the man, the myth, the legend behind Detroit Catering Co. And now stepping into his own venture with 911 Kitchen. And you beat the curve. You're smarter than Uber. You're better than the Uber people, right?
Yeah. We've been working on this for about 2 years.
Okay.
So
all right. So we've got Stuart Fox on with us here. Let us know, tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
Well, I own Detroit Catering Company, mostly large wedding catering. Been in the food business my whole life. I own Sugar Donuts, donut shop. And,
you got 3 of those now, right? That's booming.
No, I wish. Not yet, though. And then, just launched the phone app, 911 Kitchen, for kitchen staff and temporary, part-time, full-time kitchen employment.
Okay. So we're coming off the heels of what just recently became a pilot launch for Uber Works out in Chicago. For those of you that aren't familiar with Uber as a company, get out from under a rock. And for the rest of us, Uber Works is kind of the future, right? And you've kind of saw this ahead of the game 2 years out, and decided to get in front of it.
Yeah, I'm trying to. We just now officially launched it. We had some things that we wanted to change, but it's an app that connects an employer directly with an employee. So I'm doing something that Uber's not even doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're creating like staffing agencies. Any of the other apps that are around too. There's a couple similar. Those are like headhunters. Those are staffing.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that actually matches criterias between kitchen staff and employers, and matches up with people in your area.
Yeah,
and it allows you to have direct communication. Uber's worker temp, it's kind of something set up almost like how their car process is.
Right.
This is allowing you to, communicate back and forth when a match is connected.
Okay.
With an employee.
And that's important.
And at that point, you can discuss money, expectations, whatever you want. The app really is just a simple middleman to create that connection.
Right, right. It's important to have some aspect of connection still in today's world, right?
Yeah.
A lot of that. And the writing's on the wall. Everywhere you go, most of the restaurants, I think it's safe to say, have a for hiring sign.
Oh, everywhere. Anywhere you go to eat, grab someone there and say, "You guys need help in your kitchen?" They're going to tell you, "Yeah." Like when I quit a head chef position to start the catering company, I knew that I could freelance cook anywhere I wanted, whenever I wanted. And that proven true. I left a high-paying job without any anxiety about leaving because I felt confident enough that I could work whenever I wanted, wherever I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened.
So I am somewhat in the same boat, right? Like I left a pretty high-paying job, but I was not confident. I was so hesitant to hang on to that W-2 lifestyle until it just made sense for me not to.
Yeah.
And, you've got to almost embrace that freelance lifestyle. You're in a freelance, right, Chris?
Yep.
You've got to embrace that lifestyle just a bit, right?
Well, what I like about it is just that when you have more open time, it gives you the ability to do more things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that freelance lifestyle, when you had the ability to move from one thing to the next, I think it really kind of opens your doors for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Gives you that flexibility you need to grow. And that was with the catering company.
So how many hours were you working as a full-time chef?
Oh, 50 to 70,
70 all day.
Come on,
the week.
Long, crazy. But you needed that, like you said, you needed that flexibility. Like I started the catering company and I didn't want to not take jobs because I was plugged into a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And I do a lot of large wedding catering. And a lot of times you'll deal with a client and talk with somebody and they're like, "Hey, can we do a wedding tasting Wednesday?" You know, and for me, if I want to strike fast with somebody. I don't want to be like, well, let's do it in 2 weeks. I'm on schedule. I can't. You know what I mean? So you
Right.
need that flexibility.
Yeah, no, it's important.
You know, so I mean, my money was tight for sure, but I just made sure that I needed that flexibility to kind of grow things.
Yeah, I had a full-time job in terms of hours. When I was still doing the food truck, I still was working about 35, 40 hours in some capacity just outside in other kitchens. And at the end of the day, until you get your business up, right? Like one catering, if it hits right, can be the equivalent, if not more, than a full 40-hour work week, right?
Oh, for sure.
And so this is something that's even happening even now in a lot of the industry, right? Like you're working, and because of capacity and the micro of skill sets now, you're able to kind of take that same kind of thinking on a lower level.
Right.
I think that's what opens the door for something like a 911 kitchen, like an Uber, where it's like a Snap Shift and all the other ones that are.
Right. I mean, let's just say that you're working a full-time job. It's set up to where you can, I need extra money. Christmas is coming up. You as a kitchen staff or a chef, if you even have any background at that too, you can go right on your phone app and freelance and pick up work too. You put on there and you create your availability. You can put on there like I'm available Tuesday, Thursday, 9 a.m. till 3 o'clock. And then so you can work whenever you want too.
Yeah, I mean, holidays are coming up, right? Like that's something that every single one of us has to deal with. Like the amount of money that you make in the kitchen right now is not always the same. So you do want to be able to maximize your hours. Like I imagine you probably have some like slider flexibility, right, with negotiation of monies and things like that.
Yeah.
How do you think that affects? Because we recently had this back and forth push-pull on hourly wages, right? Like what is the value association of a worker? I think it was like here in Michigan, we had attempted to do it for $11 an hour, or maybe it was 12, and then the entire policy was walked back during a lame duck session. So like in that time right after the primary, all of the changes associated with raising minimum wage were reduced back. They were essentially rolled back to what it currently is now, somewhere around like eight and some change, maybe like, around there. And then in addition to that, the tipped workers, which in the new policy would also receive like the same wage, also had theirs rolled back to remain at, I believe, $3.75. Do you think something like this helps with kind of shifting the like just value association with the kitchen rolls, or?
Well, I think the value of the kitchen roll really just depends on the employee too. I know that, the wages aren't extremely high. For some people they can be, but also it's up to the owners too. You can limit having a revolving door like you see in all the kitchens if you paid them better. But also it's like, can the business sustain that too? So it depends.
Yeah. Okay. So, what was the first thing that you cooked? Did you start when you were a teenager? You start when you were in college?
Oh man, I don't remember the first thing I cooked. No, I started working at Morrow's Dining in Allen Park when I was 13.
Okay.
So like right at that age, they had us prepping. Even as dishwashers, we'd be in the back prepping stuff.
Man, the new kids don't know how easy they got it in the kitchen.
We had this monster pressure cooker in the basement, and every Wednesday we'd make bolognese.
Okay.
Mr. Morrow's dad would, and you'd pull out 5-gallon buckets out of it, but then you do like 3 buckets of bolognese, and then you do 2 buckets of tomato, but you'd put a china cap into a bucket, and you would ladle the bolognese in there, and you'd whisk tomato sauce right out of the meat sauce.
Okay.
From it, and we were doing this at 14, 15 years old down there. Your forearm would be swelled up from doing it. It's dripping sauce in a big bucket,
Right.
I mean, you'd think about doing a few buckets like that.
All right. How do you when you go grocery shopping, like how do you pick your stuff out?
Well, I've been having a lot of smoothies lately, but I like my snacks. I like my healthy snacks, and I eat steaks. I cook for myself a lot. So I mean, even a couple days ago, I just had made myself a big ribeye,
Okay.
with butter and bone broth, and that was it. It was just a giant steak. I didn't even have vegetables or nothing. I sat in front of the TV and just polished off a fat ribeye.
Did you still have your socks on?
Of course, as long as you don't sleep in your socks, right?
Hey, you gotta check. You gotta check. All right, all right. So if we were to take a look in your refrigerator right now, what are we seeing?
You would see organic orange juice, organic apple juice, almond milk, bananas, oranges, apples, and a few different sides. I don't keep my refrigerator too stocked up. I kind of pick up a few things at a time. I got some mixed olives and feta cheese in there,
Okay.
some jalapeno olives.
This is like an Ellen-friendly refrigerator, it sounds like.
I do a little bit at a time,
I wish I was that good.
and I have to be now because, like, if I wanted to go buy grocery shop and you get like a 6-pack of that strawberry shortcake ice cream, like I'm putting 4 of them down that night, and so the more I have, the more I consume faster. So I just kind of pick up a little bit at a time.
Washing that portion control in.
I have to, or it's, I'll put a dent in what I bought that night.
What is that? I don't usually mow down on things, but I recently had this. It's like a ice cream that's all blue. It kind of tastes like Superman ice cream, but it's just.
Yeah, the Blue Moon ice cream.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Blue
yeah.
Moon? Man, I ate a whole half gallon of Blue Moon ice cream.
You didn't even regret it though, did
It
you?
was so good. I called my brother over. He got a half gallon, and he ate one too. It was from someplace out in Grosse Pointe, like one of those. I think they make chocolate Sanders. I think it was like a Sanders Blue Dream ice cream. Fantastic. I'd recommend it.
Yeah, I'll try it. I
Sounds
love ice
good.
cream.
I gotta put that on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the things we like to talk about, food experiences, put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Your most excellent food experience and your most awkward food experience.
Awkward. Well, my most excellent food experience. I don't know. I don't even know if I have an awkward one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I feel like,
You might have to let me come back to that one.
yeah, I mean, that's fair. I feel like even this morning when I was getting coffee, it was awkward.
Well, I know that when I came here, we came early, and we ordered myself a bunch of dumplings, and then now I got them sitting next to me, and I'm scared to eat them, so I'm not awkwardly smashing dumplings on a broadcast. So I guess right now might actually be it, right? I should just polish them off and be like, let them see me for who I am.
Hey, no need to put on airs, man.
And-
Just go right into it. So when we come back, we're gonna break down a little bit more of like the 9-1 kitchen staffing, see how it works. We'll kind of talk a little bit about some of the folks you're working with on that, and then we're gonna break down some industry topics when we return on Refrigerator Diaries.
Beautiful.
All right, here we go. All set.
Yeah, let's smash it away, baby.
Just be plugging away on it while the camera's going. Like,
No.
I am not gonna lie. Like sometimes I'm like, it's hard to gauge because I just given up on trying to eat while recording because like I'll be eating and then like last week or 2 weeks ago when Phil was out here, he was so hard because he would just stop talking
Well,
and then I would just be like,
oh yeah, see
it's a small room too. You got all the smells.
Oh
that are,
man, that's
And
funny.
right when we started, it was kind of like hot, so I was like chewing on it. Where I'm like, man, this is going on right now while I'm trying to balance out the temperature in my mouth.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like that with everybody, like even me. Like I'm sure I'm hard to gauge.
Dumplings are good though.
Yeah. No, for
They
sure.
look good.
This is still recording too, so just so you guys know.
Oh, okay, cool.
Didn't say nothing too.
Product, please.
Yeah.
So we know.
Don't get caught.
No one, no crazy moment.
Oh.
10 years from now.
Yeah, no,
Keep
it all
it.
comes back. It comes back. Like people be like, oh, you know, there's some pictures of me on the internet that I still. I'm like, how is that still there?
No.
If only I knew.
Man. I was lucky because when I was playing sports, they told us that all the time. When we first got there, they said, "Man, don't put nothing crazy on the internet. They're going to look it, they're going to find it."
We're gonna tell you this before we even get into practice. Don't put nothing wild on the internet.
On recruiting weekends, don't put nothing crazy on the internet. You're under 18. Nothing.
Good. All right. So, just a quick primer here. So, we're going to talk a little bit more about this 911 kitchen, right? So, I'm going to ask you, like, you know, how do I get, like, do I have to pay a fee?
It's free.
You
Yeah.
know, I'm just gonna
Okay.
go through that stuff. I'm going to ask you how you make money, if you make any money. I think you said, like, that gives you an opportunity to just put this out here for the community. Right, probably talk about Detroit area chefs. I don't want to guide you. I'm just saying what we talked about. But if you have another direction, then, you know, that is
That all sounds good.
cool. Then from there, we'll probably talk about some restaurant topics. You make donuts, obviously, right? You know, so we'll probably ask you, you know, where do you like to go to get a sweet tooth fix? Like, do you eat sweets even?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just cut back on eating donuts. I was doing like my late night. One of my like little things was, man, like 4 times a week I was drinking a large Oreo milkshake, like the $7 ones.
Really?
Late night, I'd hit the Baskin Robbins drive-thru, and I would drink it. Like I wouldn't set the cup down till it was gone. It was like an.
I can't even picture you doing that.
I love, and my apartment's right by Baskin Robbins, like literally right
Yeah.
by it. And I'm telling you, like by the time I was back at my apartment, it was gone. That's how fast I would drink it. Like so now, you know, I've had one every now and then, but I'm like getting smalls just to kind of hit that.
Those Motown mashes are pretty good down at Detroit Ice.
Might have to try
Try
that.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
it's whipped topping with ice cream.
Oh my
and
god,
like marshmallows, chocolate, and cookie dough up in there.
Jesus.
And like the cookie dough's soft, so it's not like the hard stuff. Like, cause it's like, you know, they do.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like a water ice or whatever in there.
That's
So,
awesome.
What's it called?
Yeah, it's called a Motown mash.
Detroit Ice.
Mitch Albom's wife made it herself. It's her own personal recipe.
Motown Mass.
Motown mash. All right.
That's a plan right there. What was the other one from earlier? I'll get it later.
All right.
Okay.
How are those
Come back.
Nepalese dumplings, by the way?
Amazing.
Okay.
They are actually they're really good.
Cool.
Ready to come back in? Okay, recording at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, we are back on Refrigerator Diaries. Hashtag What's Your RD? So we're with Stuart Fox. We're with Chris Santos, right?
Yep. Santos.
There we go. And
You didn't say it the first time. I was a little hurt.
I wasn't sure. I was like, should I put it out there? Like,
Nah, yeah.
all right. And then, of course, your boy, Godwin, chef, owner, operator, Yum Village. We're also hosting Refrigerator Diaries. So, for those of you that don't know, we're here with our main guest, Stuart Fox. He just released an app, 911 Kitchen, emergency kitchen staffing. You also have a successful catering company, Detroit Catering Co. You also have a successful donut company, Sugar, with 2 R's.
2 hours.
Right?
Yeah.
Who now, do you roll it, or is it just...
No, you know what? We started in River Rouge.
Oh, so Sugar
So-
River Rouge.
Yeah, it's just where the 2 R's kind of plug in at.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, so that's
Like
the
that.
first one The River Rouge on Jefferson.
Yeah.
Okay, man, I pass this one all the time.
Yeah, with 2 R's. But that's like the home base for Detroit Catering Company.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, that was the reason how I even got into the donuts. It was I got this bakery, this large building kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
with all the kitchen equipment for a steal for a great price.
Yeah.
And
Man,
it was just for catering.
I gotta compliment you too, man, because like when I looked at you and I'm like looking into your eyes, right? Like you don't seem like someone who's tired, but like you're up making them donuts and then also doing the catering.
Just grinding, man.
You sell out of those things too, right?
My whole life, well, not now. We kind of ramp up what we're doing, but my whole life I've always been up and going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm always a busybody.
Busybody gets it done, right? Early bird gets the worms.
Yeah.
Squeaky wheel gets the
I've
oil.
been murder mode,
Murder
killing it.
mode, right? That's what
Seriously,
you say, right?
yeah, I outwork everybody or most people. I don't want to take any
Go into
discredit from
murder
anybody,
mode.
but
I just like to call it beast mode.
beast. In the kitchen when I was the chef, I called it murder mode with the staff. Like I treated every night like it was Super Bowl. So I got like even this young kid that helps me out catering. He's like the busboy. He's like murder mode tonight. So it's like, and it was my way of like we're gonna kill it. We're killing it. So I would always like go into the kitchen like it was a Super Bowl. Like every night I wanted to murder it.
I like that.
Yeah,
So I'd set myself up for success. What I need to do to bump the line up, anything that I could pre-prep, pre-do, what can I do to make sure I have a successful night to kill it?
Hey, that's a good approach to take in life as well. All things should be done that way.
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Hey, preach, put one in the air for that. Light us up. Light us up. All right, so let's kind of jump back into it here. 911 kitchen, emergency kitchen staffing here. So how does it work now? Do I have to pay a fee to use this?
It's completely free. It's free for the employers, free for everybody. I'm not really worried about charging right now. I'm more concerned about building a foundation, letting everybody see what it is, let everybody use it.
Wow, so you're not even into the money right now?
No, I want to create a foundation. I want people using it. I want people to see that they need it, that, it's something that it's a necessity.
Right.
It really should be in every kitchen. Any commercial kitchen anywhere. Anyone who would say that it shouldn't be doesn't feel the pulse of the business, because it's a necessity. It's it's an epidemic. Every kitchen anywhere needs help.
Yeah, and you know what? From an operating standpoint myself, at first I was hesitant because I felt like this isn't the answer, right? Pretty soon we're gonna have people showing up who just got some tag name. You don't even know their real name. They got a 4-star, 4.5-star rating, and you just get pictures of their knife skills, and you just, Hail Mary in their menu, right? Like, please, be good. But one of the things that like we like to employ at Yum Village is just making sure that we invest in our team. If it's possible, we want to try to keep the hours inside first before we reach out for more. And so, some of the things that happen when you do something like that is, heaven forbid, like life happens, but it does because it's life. At that point, you're kind of like, well, I wish I had a bigger kind of a group on, but like when you take on more staff, if you can't sustainably give them like 20 to 30, maybe even 40 hours, right, then it's not worth it to them. So something like this still allows you to keep that flexibility of having a tight crew, but still, if something happens and you're in a bind or you just need help, you can always...
somebody calls off on you on a Friday night, and you got a full house with reservations, having somebody with experience there is better than having nobody with experience.
Mm-hmm.
This app's also, it's for everybody. I was down at Schoolcraft with the culinary art program with the teachers and the students going over it. So, I mean, this app's really for everybody from, an everyday line cook to, somebody leaving a culinary art program, sushi chefs, banquet chefs, butchers, you name it. It's line cooks, pizzas, breakfast, you name it. Anybody that has anything to do with the kitchen, You know,
Fantastic.
from a strong chef to somebody who's just gonna help, swing a knife with some prep.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of what I've never gone to culinary school, but a lot of what I would say has helped me was just working in kitchens, working with other folks in the kitchen, and kind of just being around that culture and that mindset.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. I didn't go to school for it. I've just been in the kitchen my whole life, and there's techniques that we'll learn, that you can't learn in school.
yeah, I'd probably sign up just so, like, if there was, like, a kitchen that I wanted to get in,
Yeah.
I'd sign up to take a chef. Like, I want to see what that kitchen's doing in there. Let me.
Yeah, sneak in there.
I mean, not even just learn.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm still learning every day.
Yeah. So there's some dope recipes out there.
Take it, turn it around.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really part of what being a chef's all about is seeing things and seeing ideas and, then kind of creating it off it on your own.
Right. So I understand you're taking a break from eating the donuts, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's some things that, well, how you craving your sweet tooth here?
My Oreo milkshakes. That's been my go-to for years.
Okay.
But I was eating donuts every day.
Yeah. Oreo milkshake. Where do you get that at?
Baskin Robbins late night.
Okay.
Late night. Yeah.
Oreo. Do they blend it in a blender?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hate it when you get like a shake or something like that, and then you tell like they say, oh, it's fruit, and then you got a straw, then the fruit can't,
Oh, you can't drink out of it. Yeah, that's a problem.
I hate that.
It's a functional nightmare.
Hate
right?
that.
When I was at Baskin Robbins, where I ended up going in, not to drive in, and I got a large $7 milkshake, and when they filled it up 3/4 of the way, but then I watched the guy tilt the cup like this to create like a milk ring to cover up where the milkshake wasn't filled.
Okay.
So I was like, "Hey, man, fill that mother up." And he was like, "What?" I go, "I said fill that fucker up. It's a $7 milkshake." And he looked at me like I was crazy, and I was like, "Dude, I'm not playing. Fill that cup up."
Get another scoop.
Well, I probably wouldn't have been as
Ready.
mad if I didn't watch him do like trying to create an illusion of it being filled. Do you know what I mean?
That's messed up.
That's when I was like,
Don't
man, you
be
better,
slick.
yeah, you
right?
better fill that up, man.
Let that
I
be
don't
a
mind
lesson.
paying $7 for that Oreo shake, but I want a full one.
Right. Let's not be slick here. Let's not do it. All right. So, what else? Milkshake aside, you got anything else for us?
For what, sweets?
Yeah.
I love my donuts. I like the macaroons. What's that? For the love of sugar, they got some great macaroons.
For the love of sugar. Oh,
Yeah,
that's in Detroit.
Yeah, they got. I picked up some there before for a catering job, and they had a sample plate out. And I've never done that to a sample plate, but I kind of beat down their sample plate.
Okay.
All the macaroons that they had out.
Okay. Was that good?
Yeah, they were good. Yeah. But I mean, I've got them there a couple times too, but those are pretty good.
Okay. A shout out to For the Love of Sugar.
Yeah.
Do they spell their sugar with 2 R's?
No, one.
Okay.
One. Yeah.
So they.
Yeah, it's a
can't
cute shop that's down in Midtown, so
get-
check
can't get
that out.
down with the originals. All right. Not bad. Not bad. What about you, Chris?
About the milkshake?
No,
I want a milkshake right now.
no.
You got me thinking about Steak and Shake right now. Sorry about that.
Absolute. I'm gonna get ready. I'm coming to you next. Absolute must-have sweet alternative that isn't a donut. I'm gonna put like a Jeopardy.
I think I'm gonna have to go with a milkshake.
A milkshake for 2.
No, what it is I'm like, I love sweets, but I can't have too much of it. So like, if I get ice cream, I get sick of eating it after a
Okay.
while. But if I get a milkshake, I don't really get sick of those.
You can't
So,
get sick of a milkshake.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Moment of truth.
Well, I don't know. I don't want my answer to sound like pretentious or anything. Let's see. Well, we do have
what that word means.
come from a Polish family, so I like to go for. And we have a very strong Polish subculture here in Metro Detroit with Hamtramck and Sterling Heights and all those cities. So lots of Polish bakeries. I would say like Kruszczyki,
Okay.
Punchki, you know.
Oh, okay. Well, I know what that is. What's a krustiki?
You probably seen it. It's like kind of like an elephant ear. It's like a fried dough, and then it's covered in powdered sugar. Some people
It's
call it
amazing.
an angel wing cookie. 'Cause
Oh,
it's kind of shaped like.
angel wings. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are good.
After saying all that, we talking about desserts that people cook now? Because I can come in with peach cobbler now.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. does this
After
have to
hearing
be
all of that,
from a
I was like,
specific
okay, no,
place?
milkshake.
No?
So I don't have anything that I made, right? But
I can
What-
make them. They're not as pretty as the store bought. But
well, you know, the flavor is all that matters. You know, as
Yeah.
a flavor proponent and someone who's put out some ugly plates out there in my life, the flavor is all that matters. Which is why this dessert that I'm about to say is all the more fantastic. So what I would do is I would get a moist cake. You know, it doesn't really matter, with a whipped icing, and then I would wait until I got usually red velvet would typically be the one of choice, and then I would wait until I got just semi-soft melted ice cream, and then I would just mix it all together until it was like a shake,
Oh yeah.
like a cakey ice cream shake.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The best dessert
I can see
ever.
that.
So we got 3 for shakes now, huh?
Yeah.
I was like, man, you made that shake sound good, though.
One way or another, it ends up in a shake.
It's like it's a shake kind of time. So we'll come right back here. You one more time. So you're not making any money. You're doing this just for the community. Are you doing this by yourself? When did you start coding? You code and cook?
I have a great guy that I grew up with, you know, that does it full time as a job, and I was like, "Here's my idea.
Okay.
Do you love it?" He was like, "Yeah, I absolutely love it." I'm like, "All right, well, I'll make you a partner in it."
Hit him with the shooting in the gym line.
You know, I wouldn't be able to do it without him.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and that's it.
Well,
I'm trying to roll it out as heavy as I can, put some feet on it, and he's doing the coding and the programming.
okay. All right. How does that work now? Do you guys kind of talk? Like, does he live here in Detroit with you?
Yeah, he lives downriver. We both live downriver. We communicate. You know, we meet up as much as we can. We talk on the phone, text. You know.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. Now, I've got to ask, because you probably I've seen some of those amazing pictures. You know, what are some of the most over the top things that you've noticed with staffing? Do you have any do's and don'ts for folks that are gonna start using this?
Do's and don'ts. Be reliable. Don't be a drug addict. You know.
Don't do it.
But don't do dope. Good work ethic. I mean, a lot of the stuff's kind of, but it's probably with any job's kind of common sense, but, good work ethic, good sense of urgency. A sense of urgency is what, you can say that's something they don't really teach in culinary school, how to get out there and just rock it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Before I let you go, speaking of over the top, I've seen some ridiculous over the top donuts.
Yeah.
And, I know you could probably win a competition for some of the stuff that you put out there.
World's best, voted by my mom. That's what I put on the social media, voted best donuts in the world from my mom.
Hey, what are some over the top things that you've done?
For donuts?
Yeah.
Well, this weekend we did a pumpkin spice cheesecake donut. That was good. I've done a strawberry crunch.
Cheesecake was inside the donut?
Yeah, cheesecake filling,
Oh,
if
wow.
you were making a cheesecake, but I pipe it, put them all in piping bags. Butterfinger donuts, Nutter Butter donuts, Fruity Pebble donuts.
Do you use brioche bread, or what kind of bread is it?
Said fruity pebble
Oh,
donuts.
yeah, the Fruity Pebble ones. Even maple bacon,
Wow. Man, that's fantastic. All right.
Animal
So-
cracker donuts, peanut butter and jelly.
All right. That's amazing. All right. So we've got Stuart Fox, owner, operator, Detroit Catering Co., founder of 911 Kitchen, Emergency Kitchen Staffing, and also owner of Sugar with 2 R's.
with 2 R's.
All right. We're gonna end up here. Do you have anything else you want to let us know about before we close up?
Well, you can download the phone app 911 Kitchen at the App Store and Google Play. It's free to use, free to download, and spread the word. Check it out.
And then we got a website too, or is it just
www.911kitchen.com.
All right, www.911kitchen.com. All right. We're going to bid you adieu. Chris, any last words?
No, man, it sounds excellent.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I really like it just because it seems like it can be a very good help for people, especially if they having trouble trying to keep a full-time staff at all times. It just seems like an excellent program.
Thank you. We're trying to put some feet on it. My plan's to try to make this larger than life.
Okay.
This is a local Detroit app, and we need Detroit to be supportive of it.
Absolutely.
Push it, support it, share it, tell people about it.
Absolutely. And if you guys want to hear a little bit more about what Stuart has to say, be sure to check in our newsletter. It'll be coming out a week from this podcast dropping, and I believe we're going to have some words from the man himself, right?
You will, absolutely.
All right. We'll see you next time on Refrigerator Diaries.